Okay, I want to do the overview of the new 4Play Advanced. So let's open up the box. It comes with a flyer and the inside packaging. And inside the box we have the 4Play itself here. Let's put that aside. And then you do have the USB cable that comes with it. It's the Type C in this case. And on the front of the 4Play we have the HDMI ports, and then we have 4 resets. And we'll notice that those reset switches are very flush, so they can't be bumped too easily, but also very easy to press and hold down. The older 4Play had a bit of a struggle with the buttons. This one has some advantages to make the flashing process a lot easier. We'll get into that in a second. On the back we have your additional controls. Just from left to right there is a power button, so you want to make sure that's on, or you can use that as a switch to turn it off. There is input for the USB, that'd be the link up to the computer, and there's an additional port for power. Again, like the old 4Play, it's an optional feature. Its only function really is for the PlayStation to rumble at its full voltage, which is 8, which USB can't provide. So if you have both ports providing power, you can get your 8 out of it that way. Not necessary, but up to you. There is no power cable that's provided with this, so you had to pick up an additional C cable or a splitter, which would work. There is also a single or 4Play mode. Being that this design actually has them all up front, this would be your single port. There's probably no point in using this mode. This mode is primarily for any low-level API device, like the Bridge, the Blender, the Mister, those types of things. They can use low-level API. That will never happen over a 4Play mode because there's an internal hub, and it can't split that signal, so you would have to go to single-play mode for that. There's probably no point in you doing that on the PC itself because port 1's always going to be this far one to the left. And that won't be a confusing thing to remember since this is a box design rather than the older kind of like octagon spiral design or whatever have you. Also, there is a HID and X input feature for each port. 1 through 4, you can change those modes. So there's kind of an overview of the options that are on the 4Play. So let's have a look. Okay, let's go ahead and hook it up. I should plug that into the back, the port mentioned, and if the power is off, go ahead and turn it on, and you should get the 4 lights. And then we go ahead and run the software. Now the software is going to go ahead and kind of step you through the process of setting it up the first time. So yeah, I'll tell you that, hey, I've noticed that you're doing an upgrade. It'll be talking about 2.0, which is kind of legacy stuff, but it's all the same thing. So you're going to hit an OK there. And then it's going to go ahead and configure the ports. I'm just going to make an attempt to do the 1 through 4, but in the nature of the Windows environment, they're always random. So chances of it getting it right are very slim. But that's okay, we can fix all that up. Made changes, so it's going to ask you to restart. And keep in mind that what's going on here is the software's kind of hacking the USB bus. So Windows doesn't like this. We'll close the menu about the update for right now. We don't want to deal with that. So to test it, you can hit the reset button on port 1. Just tap it, and if it goes to port 1, you know that it's right. Once that goes away, we'll do number 2, and you can see number 2 is 4. So it didn't get it right, which is no surprise, but we can fix this. To fix it, we're going to run the player port order wizard. Then you hit your yes, and this is very simple to do. Once it flashes, just hit the port that you want to be the number that's flashing. So that would be 1. I hit the one on the left. Now it says, who do you want to be number 2? And we just kind of go right down the list there. Be patient with it, because again, it's really hammering the hardware level of Windows, and Windows doesn't like that very much. It does a lot of checks and balances to make sure everything's in order. It usually pulls through okay. After you pick all of your ports, it's going to try to replace the numbers. So as long as you hear the USBs dropping in and out, it's actually working. If it does freeze here, you can just close down the application, bring it back up, and it'll give you just run it again, essentially. And once it's done, it's going to ask you to restart. This one says that it failed to set up one of the ports. So we can do a yes. To check them, I like to bring up the game ports up there. I mean, we can see we have 2 2s and 2 1s, so it didn't get it right. And he's saying that he detected that it was wrong. So now he's going to go ahead and try to put him back. No, changes are made, restart. Again, the best thing here is just have patience with it. It's going to try to get it working for you. Just follow the prompts and the messages. It's usually just yes and okay. I'm pretty sure that it didn't get it correct, but once it's finished, we'll try it. I think I accidentally hit no. So run it back up. Okay, let's see what we ended up with here. Alright, number 1 is still 1. Number 2 is 4. So it didn't get it right. Let's try that again. Usually works the second time for sure. Alright. Okay, now it's going to try to get those ports aligned again. Okay, looks like he's happy this time, so 1 is 1. Two is 2. Looks like 3 is 3. So obviously 4 is correct. Or it wouldn't be orange or salmon. They're all in Atari mode because I don't have controllers attached. The other thing I'd recommend is just hit the restore defaults. Just do that on each port. That's going to format the EEPROM to the defaults. They should already be done that way, but it'll prevent any unpredicted issues that may pop up in there. So it's a good practice. And at this point, everything's up to date except for the version of the firmware. So I'm going to show you how to do one port. You just hold down that button, hit the update, and then you would select your version. So let's go back one. I got 7.8 on here. You can let go of the button and let it do its job. It's one of the advantages over the old version. You had to keep that button down. And now you can see, I don't know if you can see it with the camera, but it's actually a 4.78. So that's kind of just the setup process. So that kind of concludes what I wanted to go through on the overview of 4Play Advanced. As I said, there is the option to do X input. That's on the back. And if you do that, the API won't recognize that port. So you want to go ahead and program all your settings ahead of time. And then once you go to the X input mode, it'll have those features. So if you wanted to come back and reprogram something in the API tool, you just go back to the HID mode. And each port can be individually set. So that concludes our tutorial on the 4Play Advanced. Thanks for watching.